There's a very good chance that, if you're a fan of the original Dungeon Hunter games, you're going to be approaching this review with a good deal of trepidation. And, quite frankly, you'd be right to do so. When the series first started, it was a premium dungeon crawler, essentially the mobile version of Diablo. But time changes all things, and the creep of free-to-play has seen plenty of former fans put off. And Dungeon Hunter Champions isn't going to do anything to bring those lost sheep back into the fold. In fact, it takes the series deeper into the territory it was skirting around with previous iterations. Thing is, it's not actually awful, if you're into that kind of thing. At least on surface level, the game still wears the garb of a dungeon crawler, but it's edged much closer to that mid-core RPG section that peppers the mid-core landscape. So, rather than dealing with just one hero, you've got a whole bunch of them. And there are numbers. A lot of numbers. There's at least 3 different upgrade trees for each character, multiple currencies, and several ways of figuring out if the characters you've got are actually any good. To say it gets confusing sometimes would not be an overstatement. The action of the game is split into little runnels of violence. Sometimes these take different shapes. You got chases, little chunks of MOBAs, duels, massive boss fights, but the things you're doing remain the same. And those things are mashing a bunch of buttons. In fact, within the first half an hour, you'll find that you can switch on auto mode. Then, you don't even have to worry about pressing any buttons. The game will do it all for you. Now, we wouldn't necessarily blame you if by now you've flipped out and thrown your phone through the nearest window. But if you are that person, the Dungeon Hunter brand hasn't really been for you for a while now. There are plenty of other dungeon crawlers out there that are going to tickle your funny bits. This just isn't one of them. What it is an incredibly polished action RPG. Seriously, it's one of the best looking games we've seen on mobile for a while. All blasts of light and giant dragons. Every action is worth a screenshot. But, and this is quite a big but, there's nothing here that really differentiates the game from any other games in the genre. It's a big, bright ball of shiny things, with loads of stats flying at you without any regard for whether you understand them or not. But it's the same big, bright ball that shone on you before. No, this isn't Dungeon Hunter if you're a fan of the first couple of games. And it's not really Dungeon Hunter if you're a fan of the more recent ones either. It's a step in a different direction for the series. And while it does everything it sets out to do with panache, everything that it sets out to do turns out to be not that interesting.